So you know how most people are scared of normal things? Like heights, the dark, and dying? Well, I'm not normal. My biggest fear is, drumroll please, the school counselor. So I've never been to the counselor before throughout my entire history of school until this year, mainly because I was always scared of them. The first time I went to the counselor was in August at the beginning of the school year. I had a friend I was super close to, but we got into a huge fight. We said some things we shouldn't have said, and in the end we drifted apart and stopped being friends. Well, I was having a really hard time getting over that. She had told me that she didn't know what she would do without me in the past, but shortly after we stopped being friends, I would see her in the hall with a group of new friends, laughing and smiling and talking. She would glance over at my way and completely ignore me. It was like I was replaced in an instant, and like a relationship meant nothing. I tried to get over it, but I couldn't stop thinking about her even after months had passed. It was causing me so much stress, sadness, and nightmares that I decided to talk to somebody about it. I was scared, yes, but that was overridden by the amount of negative emotions I had because of that. So I went to see the counselor for the first time in my entire life. That night before I went, I could not sleep. The next day, I stood outside the office for a little bit, too scared to walk in, but I forced myself to anyway. There was a lady there, and she said, "What do you need?" I said, "I signed up to see the counselor." And she said, "Oh, they're at a meeting right now, but I'll send her an email and she can follow up with you later." Two voices in my head. Yes, I don't have to face my fears today. And no, I can't get it over with today. But nevertheless, I relaxed a bit, knowing that I wouldn't have to be scared anymore. Then the lady walked me back downstairs, and guess who we ran into on the way back downstairs? The counselor. And the lady said, "Oh, we were just looking for you. This is Alicia." And the counselor said, "Oh, I remember seeing your name signed up. Alright, perfect." That fear that I thought was gone hit me like a brick again. I followed her into the office, put my backpack down, and sat down. She introduced herself and explained what she does, and then she said, "How can I help you?" Then my mind went blank. I just sat there in silence for a solid 5 minutes or so, trying to think about how to word this without sounding stupid. Eventually, I did talk. Kind of. I kept avoiding eye contact, played with my watch, and kept stopping to think about what I wanted to say. All because I was so scared. I probably looked like I wasn't interested in the conversation or something, but that wasn't my intention. What made it even worse, though, was that when I did talk, I was so impulsive. Near the end, she said, "Your homework is to surround yourself with people who care for you and value you, such as your family and other friends." What if nobody cares about me? I care about you. Why? You've never even known me before today. It's my job. I'm a professional carer. Don't you say that to everyone? Nope, only the ones I really do care about. Do you think what I came in for was a stupid reason? If you think it matters, it matters. Then we ran out of time, and things couldn't have gone worse. I was so mean. I felt like a waste of time. It was hard for me to put my emotions into words, and all that stress and fear turned into me being rude. My flight or fight instincts told me to fight, but why does my fear want to fight the counselor? I promise you, I am not actually that mean. But now she probably thinks I'm a jerk, and that I'm weird, and that I can't talk. Way to make a good first impression. What made this even worse was that she was the sweetest person ever. Instead of being mean right back to me like what I deserve, she was super nice. She had listened to what I had to say, was super understanding, and she was just a great person overall. She didn't deserve to be treated like the way I treated her at all, and I felt so guilty. This guilt haunted me for a whole week before I decided to do something about it. I decided to send her an apology email. I knew that I couldn't take back what I had said or make anything better at all. I wasn't trying to make any excuses for my behavior, I genuinely wanted to apologize. So I said something along the lines of, "I've been thinking about the counselor meeting we had last Thursday, and I wanted to apologize for being so impulsive and not being able to talk very well. I know I can't change the past, but I want to say that I'm sorry. It really meant a lot to me that you were so kind and listened to what I had to say, even if I was being rude." She responded by saying, "I appreciate your thoughtfulness. It takes courage to talk about what's going on." She also said I was welcome in the counseling office no matter how I felt. But even after that, the guilt didn't go away. And it never has. 7 months later, and I still feel so bad.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
Later in the year, it came time for registration at school, and I had questions about my schedule for next year. That meant I had to go see the counselor again. I was a last time I went in August, and I sent her an apology email too. How am I supposed to face her again? She probably hates me. Time for an internal crisis. But then again, I really had to ask because I had no idea what I was doing with my life. I signed up for a meeting later in the week. I wrote down everything I wanted to just in case my mind went blank. Soon after I signed up for that meeting, I dreamed that I got called into the counselor's office for some reason, and the counselor said, "Hey Alicia." I said, "Hi." Then I said, "I like your necklace." She said, "Thank you." Then in my head, I said to myself, "Why can't I always talk to her like this? I'm not even scared this time. This is great." And my brain said, "That's because you're dreaming." And then I woke up. So anyway, the days went by, closer and closer to our meeting. Before I knew it, the counselor meeting was tomorrow. I only got 2 hours of sleep at night because I kept tossing and turning due to anxiety. Didn't eat anything for the whole day just in case I worried myself sick, and I was having a crisis inside. Mainly because one of the 2 pilots in my brain wanted to freak out and cry, and the other knew that if I did so, it would make things worse. I tried not to show my fear, and I tried my hardest to try to stop feeling so scared. I attempted to distract myself by writing, try to tell myself that the worst that could happen isn't even that bad. I focused on breathing deeply, and I told myself I was prepared because I had written everything I wanted to ask down into my notes. I tried to use logic to stop feeling so much anxiety, but fear overtook me. I felt an intense feeling of dread, my heart was racing, and it was getting harder to breathe as the minutes ticked by, closer and closer to the time of my counselor appointment. I wanted to back down, yes, but...
Never back down, never what? Never give up! Let's go!
I climbed up the stairs, took a deep breath, and stepped into the counseling office, and she said, "Hey Alicia, hi, how's your day been?" "It's been alright." "Are you okay? Your voice sounds off, unless that's what you normally sound like." "Yeah, I'm fine." She looked at me doubtfully, but instead of questioning me any longer, she said, "How can I help you?" I said, and stood there for a little while because I forgot. She pointed out the paper with my questions on it that I'd brought with me. You know, it's bad that she was the one who had to try to figure out what I was here for, not me telling her. "What's your paper?" "My classes." "What you thinking?" Okay, so I reached the peak of fear right there. I physically could not talk anymore, my mouth was so dry. My mind was blank, and the only thing I was thinking of was that I wanted to run away, and my heart was beating way too crazy fast. I was literally on the verge of crying. I sat there for a solid minute or 2 trying to figure out what to do. Without saying any more, I decided the only thing I could try to do was drink some water and hope I could talk a little better after that. So I tried to go in my backpack and get my water bottle, but unfortunately my hands were shaking so much that I was struggling to get the zipper open. I started panicking even more, and I said sorry while kind of forcing out an embarrassed laugh. She said, "You're fine." I somehow got my water out and drank some, and then sat there some more before I started talking. I just had some questions about my schedule next year. It wasn't even a scary topic, but I kept having to pause and sit there and stuff. It was so awkward. I don't know, maybe it was just fear, but I feel like she thought I was annoying and weird. Maybe she hates me. But at the end, she stood up, smiled at me, and said, "You know my email is always open in case you have any other questions, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend." I wonder if she knew I was scared. I think she did. I should have told her I was scared instead of sitting there, because in case she didn't know, I look really, really weird sitting there completely frozen. I really don't get it. Why am I so scared of her? She's literally the sweetest person ever. Maybe I still think she's holding a grudge against me, even though she doesn't seem like the type of person to do so. Maybe I never forgave myself for being rude in August. Maybe I'm embarrassed by that apology email I sent her. I like her, I really do. She's a great person. I know she's supposed to help me, that's her job after all, but what do I do about the fact that I'm so overwhelmingly scared at the same time? And now I'm gonna be thinking about this for the next few months. I feel so bad. In a way, I guess my dream came true. I'll always be scared, unless I'm dreaming. A few days after the counselor meeting, our health teacher told us that the counselor was gonna come in to give a lesson tomorrow. I stopped breathing for a second. Just hearing the word counselor is enough to scare me. But that's when I smacked some sense into myself. I thought to myself, I'm going to overcome my fear. When she walks in tomorrow, I'm going to ask her, "How are you?" Okay, I know that sounds really stupid and a small action that isn't that hard to do, but trust me when I say that was really hard for me to do. Imagine that you're deathly scared of heights and somebody forces you to go skydiving. It was that level of scary for me. I went to school with that goal in mind. I took the walk over to health, each step striking more and more fear into my heart. I got that all too familiar feeling of my mind about to have a breakdown again. I was trying to take deep breaths, but the best I could do is take each breath shuddering. Then I stepped foot into the health room. She was getting stuff ready for her lesson, and she turned around and said, "Good morning." I said good morning back. Every part of me was saying that I was too scared to do it, but I knew it was now or never, so I just spit it out. "How are you?" "I'm good, Alicia. How are you?" "I'm good." Then I sat down and started shaking again, because of course I was scared. I couldn't believe my shy self had enough guts to do it. I was proud of myself, because I did something I was scared to do, even if it was small. And that took a lot of courage, whether anyone believes me or not. In conclusion, I'd like to thank my school counselor for being awesome. I'm so thankful for the kindness she's always shown me despite my actions, and I'm really sorry for being scared of her. The end. Thanks for watching.